So StarGrave's gonna fall through my letterbox any day now. I'm gonna do a test model, proof of concept. I've got the Palanite Enforcer bodies, and I'm gonna put these nice domed space helmets from Bombshell on top, and a Volkite charger from Forge World, because it's got that classic ray gun look. Death ray, death ray. How it is. Death ray. No, on a stick. Always been into space, mate. So I'm wandering around at home and I'm thinking, what am I gonna build for StarGrave? Benny, nice. Got that tattooed though. What about old school? Yeah, love that. Gotta be careful though. Can look a bit silly, but I do like a nice domed helmet. No, not that. No. So what am I going to do? I'm going to grab some bits, just grab loads of bits, more. Set up the camera. Let's do this. I want to show you my new mug. Look at that. I use a mug, by the way, just next to where I'm hobbying, and I put the knife there because I can't pick it up normally with my little sausage fingers. Yeah, they really squeezed that in there, didn't they? I'll quickly trim out the parts for that guy. 28, 27, 25, 24, 87. You got all that, right? You memorised that? Yeah, I'm only doing one, so don't worry about that. So let's quickly trim those out. So he's the captain of the Enforcers. Won't necessarily be the captain of my Space Gang, but we'll see. Lots of the usual stuff. Trim away with the nice sharp clippers, scrape with the blunter of my two knives to clean up the parts. It is amazing how much just squeezing 28mm heroic detail into a human scale model rather than a great big orc or a big old space marine just makes them seem that much more detailed, that much busier in that relatively small area. I don't often do human scale stuff, but there you go, dry fitted it, make sure it all lines up. You'll see me do this a bit. I'll glue it together, give it a wiggle to make sure it's all in there, good contact area, and then just to make sure any of that squeeze out is dealt with, I give it a brush. Anything I see the brush make a streak of, I can then rub away. A little bit of glue there on the underside, get the legs on. They just wiggle into place. Cool. But here's the special bit from Bombshell. They make these lovely parts that come in extremely tough plastic bags. My God. They are very high quality. God knows what you normally would keep in them, but they are a bugger to get open. But the parts inside are gorgeous. Really nice sharp detail. Really crisp, and the little domed lid is going to look great. We'll see. So I'm going to do what I tend to do a lot here. I'll test. I'll use my tools on a bit of the sprue, see how it reacts, so that I've got a fair idea when I'm trimming away on my precious little part, of which I've only got 10, how it's going to react. So same there, just having a little file on the sprue just to see what it does, so that I can work on the actual part with more confidence. Just again enjoying that lovely little sculpt. I did the same thing, I trimmed away on the sprue just to see how it worked, whether it was going to shatter, and then trimmed it away. It's got a couple of little parts there, so I very carefully, because I don't want to accidentally flip it over and scratch the nice clean dome, so I just rub it on that sandpaper so it fits nicely there. Now offering up that helmet part, looking at how it's going to fit on the Enforcer body. I'm going to cut about there. It's not really a pencil marker. It lines up nicely with some of the other parts on the model, so I can, that little dome there, I know I can cut at that part, and then this back part I need to trim away, try and plug it into this natural notch on the back of the Enforcer's neck that seems to line up really rather fortuitously. So it's lots of the same here. You know the story. Go at it gently, trim away, because this is an experiment at this stage. You know, once your test model's done and you know what you're doing, you can probably make the remainder of your gang that much quicker. So as you can see, just trimming away that hose, knifing away. This is the sharper blade of the two, and then offering it up, getting closer. This is our first fit. Legs are still a bit soft. So, you know, I'll take it away, trim a little bit more on the neck there, see what things are going to cover up others. I like the detail on the helmet, so I'm going to trim away the detail on the back of the neck. Again, sharp knife, get rid of that. And then we'll offer up again. It's looking good. Love the way those hoses plug into what I think are like shoulder lights on the model. Now I've put my super glue, the gel super glue, on a tool just so I can guide it neatly into the areas I need it. I can favour the inside, and it's far less likely to squirt out of that area and get on the model where we don't want it. Nice. A bit of a squeeze, push it down, glue that bit of hair in place, of course. Now, the dome, as we all remember from Beverly Hills Cop, super glue can give off fumes, so you want to be careful with that. So I do a little test here on that bit of sprue, just to see how that reacts. I just cut that in half, and if I get any cloudy, smoky effects on it, then I can have a change of plan, use a different glue perhaps, Yoo-hoo or something else. So I've mounted the dome there in a bit of blue tack. That's just a handle, so I can squirt a bit of paint in there. Some Volkite, the middle-sized Volkite gun from Forge World. I just really like the look of them. I've had these from an old Heresy project that they didn't get used on. But of course we need the original gun, which is on here somewhere. On here somewhere. 70, 30. There it is, shotgun 30. Got the Volkite, cut the grip off, and I'll put the shotgun hand and grip onto it. You'll see me do this from time to time. I put the part on the blue tack so I can safely cut away and not risk stabbing up my fingers. It also keeps the part so it doesn't ping across the room, just in case you wanted to keep both halves. So again, just a little more of a trim, just to make sure we've got a nice flat surface for our glue. And we'll do the same on the other side. I've trimmed a bit further away, and then I'll square it up with small cuts with my super sharp fresh blade. Hello mate. So he wants Moonraker. He's saying like, really go for it, go silver, Moonraker. I'm calling him an idiot. I'm saying let's go 2001. He's not having it. So he's gonna start chewing on the fucking cable. Get off. He sat on the cable and the camera. Oh my god. Bear with me. Hang on a minute. Oh, it's fucking. I've pressing some buttons now, and this is not gonna go well, is it? Hello, testing, 1, 2. Major Tom. Right, we'll speed that up, catch up on this. It's all the usual stuff, scrapey, bit of glue, put the hand on to the arm in the position that it's supposed to go. But I need to get that arm a little bit further away from the body, so there's a bit of a gap there. We'll green stuff that later. so it doesn't sit exactly in that socket as it would. So I'll glue it up, use a bit of blue tack to hold that where we want it until the glue has got a bite. That's his maul. His maul is truncheon. His whacking stick, tool of the oppressor. We'll glue that in place, and similarly pop a bit of blue tack under that just so it holds everything in place while it sets up. Count to 1,000,000. Moon and back. Okay, so it's eventually shake it. No, put a lid on, shake it. Poke it. No, it's not coming out. It's just all stuck down the other end. Get another bottle and we'll glue on the gun. Surprise, surprise, a bit of blue tack holding that in place while the glue goes off. So I've stuck him on a bit of sprue there, and I stuck a bit of hair on there as well for good measure. I stuck it on the sprue just so you can get a bit more paint on it, up in between the legs and everything, so the base isn't masking it. And I'll run outside and give him a bit of paint in a sec. This, however, is the M3000, you knew that. It's the old M3000 gold chrome, gold finger. Oh my god, all the Bond references. It's the gold chrome that I'll spray on the inside of the dome, but that is good old Halfords white. For those of you outside the UK, Halfords is like cars, bicycles, spray paints, grease, chains, inner tubes, new filters and whatnots. Big box store that do all kinds of useful stuff. So you can see there, that's masked it up, and I'll give that dome a little rub on my sandpaper just to get rid of the last bit of paint on that fine edge. Give our glue a key. That looks alright. A little bit swirly. Perhaps I didn't shake that quite enough. Should have run out a bit more paint. We'll see on the next ones. Could even use, could even just brush a paint in there, put a drop in and swirl it around. But you're beginning to see what it's going to look like. So here we go, look at this. Paint. I don't paint stuff. I do sometimes, just not in a while. Cat bit my hand off. Got out of the habit. Just haven't set my paints up yet. Here we go. Big old brush. I'm not overly concerned with this guy right now. As I say, this is a test model. I just want a proof of concept. So I'm going to slather on the contrast, and much like oils, but with a quicker drying time, I'm just going to bash it on really quick and then go over it with a sponge, give it some texture. Again, I'll go over this and tidy it up should I keep him in the gang. But I don't know what weapon loadouts I'm going to put on these guys, so this might all change. So I'm using that dry brush, usually the one I tickle a bit of paint on a base with, just to wick up any puddles of paint, and then with the sponge just knocking off those edges, and you can see it does a lovely job of just kind of giving you a quick rough highlight. And again, without that base in the way, I can get to the legs and feet that bit better. What I did forget was a little bit of detail. I wanted to put a little pack, a little tank there for compressed air or whatever, just on the bottom. So I gave that a little squirt of paint and did the same process and glued it on. So here we go, there's that dome. Squirting a little tiny bit of my gel glue on the inside, and then very carefully lining it up and pushing it in place. Managed not to squirt too much out, or any, I think. Here we go. So I've stuck it on a hexagonal base just for old school flavour. Yeah, nice, he likes it. Now I do these with a 2-part silicone. It's one of these products you can get from arts and craft shops. It's kind of like a putty, very greasy, very slimy. Rub equal parts together, and then I push that down on a bit of Sector Mechanicum terrain, and I got a print off of it. I then rolled that over or push that over green stuff on those bases. I let it set up for a little while and then knifed it into a hexagonal shape. See those cables there, they're the same ones that I used on the big lad here. That flexible wire under the chin there. You can use guitar wire and stuff, but this stuff's more flexible and I don't play guitar. So here he is, beamed him down onto the rotating platform. Quite pleased with that. That worked. Thumbs up for proof of concept. When that book arrives, I'll figure out the rest of the gang, or maybe I'll just bash some stuff together and hope it works. Probably that. Love that Bombshell helmet, that collar and everything. They fit really nicely. The rest of Bombshell's stuff, really nice robots, some nice empowered, strong female characters, and some stuff that's frankly a bit tiddy. I hope there's women working in that organisation and it was their idea and not just lusty man boys going, I'm painting boobies. Check yourselves. Like and subscribe. Ring that bell. Look at your own fucking chair. Sit there. I'm trying to do a thing. I'm wearing black, mate. Oh. Sit there. Read your auto cue. Fucking fired, you are.